Mr. Hazen,
Present.
Mr. Alvin,
Present.
Mr. MD,
Present.
Mr. Smith.
Present. All right, minutes from August of 20,
No,
November.
November.
This must be the one that came with the last. That must be the one that came with the original.
Here,
I've got it,
you got it? Okay.
I could have it. Yeah, here, I got the updated one. It gets stapled to my application.
Oh, okay.
Okay, minutes from November 22nd. I have that, oh, November of 2022, sorry. It's the 21st of November. There. Since this was to not be done, there was not a lot.
There was organization.
We did all the organizational stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Any corrections to those minutes?
No, I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes.
I second.
All right.
Approved as written.
Yes.
Mr. Dorrance.
Yes.
Mr. Hazen,
Yes.
Mr. Alvin,
Yes.
Mr. MD,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Ashline, would you like to tell us about your project?
Yeah, I bought property on 22 originally to put up a shop there for my business, but seeing as can't find employees to expand and grow my business, I decided to kind of shift into storage units, something that's a little bit easier to make money with and kind of set myself up for a little bit of a retirement. And so I kind of looked into building storage units, had a contractor come out, kind of went over some plans and kind of submitted those, had a surveyor come out, drop a site plan and do the surveying and submitted it to you guys.
Okay, it's a residential portion, so I'm not sure you would have had to come in front of us to
Yes.
play with your shop anyways.
Exactly.
It's a use variance, so there are 4 criteria that you have to meet to get a use variance through. Want to take us through?
Will you be putting, any sort of signage up on the front, just like a storage sign or something? or-
Probably just a small signage, yes.
Okay.
Kind of keep the aesthetics of the area.
Yeah, that was my question, not a neon or anything.
No, gosh, no. Not a big like that, no.
Okay.
Definitely not.
And then the only other question I have is, as far as lighting goes, Jeff, are you just gonna have like somebody on the building, you're not gonna have any overhead lights?
No, sir, just running right down the strips of the storage units, low grade LEDs, just to illuminate
Yeah.
the door openings and stuff.
Not that there's a lot of residential in the area, one's vacant for years, the one that sits up higher, than the one for sale that's been vacant for forever and ever, so. And I went over on the other road just to cover our tracks, and you'll never see any lighting from from the top, so that's good for us.
So there are, like I was saying, there are 4 basic pieces to go ahead and get a use variance.
Okay.
Did you address those in your application? I mean, the first one is for every permitted use or special permitted use within the zone. Cannot realize a reasonable return, provide a lack of return, or substantially establish a competent finance, and that has to be established by some competent financial evidence.
Okay.
I didn't see.
And honestly, it's been a while since I submitted that application there, so my memory on.
Just don't see.
I know I didn't submit any financial reasoning, just an explanation more so. But more or less the things that were allowed to go there were just astronomically too costly for me to get into.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'm just reading your app.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe a tavern's allowed in that spot anyways, but.
No, I think Reagan Prey, the guy that owned it before me, wanted to put a tavern in there.
I don't believe
He was-
we allow
he
those
was
in
shot down.
I don't believe we allow those in residential areas.
Do you have an extra copy of that? I took a tumble down the stairs on my way here, so I must have. Do you have an extra copy of that? Because I took a tumble down the stairs and wasn't able to get home first to pick them up.
There's that.
I just showed me how to use the copy machine after this.
What do you need copies of?
Oh, no, I mean, just in general.
Oh,
Does this property have an actual street address yet?
It does not, no.
no.
There's never been nothing on there, there's no special use permit, it's residential.
Originally, that
So it's
was,
residential, commercial.
Yeah.
originally Mark Allen had that, and he was gonna build 3 houses in there. And then that fell through, and then Reagan bought it, and then Jeff got it from him.
Okay, so alleged hardship relating to the property in question is unique and does not apply to any substantial portion of the district or neighborhood. I'd have to look at the detailed map, but I think the group you listed, there is a little H, it's a different zoning that
Okay.
encompasses the list of properties you mentioned, I believe.
Okay.
It's not in the same zone. It's an HO zone that just barely encompasses those, but they were probably there in 1999 when somebody drew the map, so that's why
Gotcha.
they're listed, but they're not in the same RR1
Right.
zone that
Okay.
your parcel is in. Well, it says a characteristic, okay, and requirements, number more. As I said, I see your section 4 here, but as I said earlier, it may have been the original plan, but that parcel wasn't approved for a commercial enterprise, Ashley's Lawn and Snow Inc., et cetera,
Right.
originally, so it's not a,
I kind of took my guidance from the gentleman there that had retired, I forget his name, right up the
Okay.
bill account. He
okay.
kind of walked
Yep.
me through the paperwork a little bit.
We'll let somebody else talk for a second, but
Say the same thing.
yeah, I would think you would be well served to go and actually write a true use variance application that addresses the
Okay.
things for a use variance. We can take and discuss it, we can vote on it, etc.
Okay.
But I'm looking at your current app, and I would think that, given what I read in the current app, it doesn't match the use variance requirements in my mind
Okay.
as they're described. You may have gotten advice from the previous codes enforcement officer, and it may or may not have been correct,
Okay.
but it's not I'm not seeing in the application things that reflect this. Here's a copy of what we look at
Okay.
when we do it, because those are the things we have to address. We have to answer each of those questions in the affirmative,
Okay.
and each of us has to do it in order for each individual has to address those 4 issues in the affirmative.
Okay.
And it's tough from what I've seen here to be able to pick off all 4
Okay.
in the affirmative. So I'm not saying that I disagree with the idea of your project. I'm not saying that I'm just saying that this application doesn't, in my mind, address the requirements that
So my application, what you're saying, doesn't address these questions? right
I
here
don't
that need
see
to
it
fill?
addressing those questions that Bill may have told you it would or wouldn't.
But isn't my responses on the application, doesn't that reflect these
We
questions
can
right
use
here?
those, we can go forward with that if that's,
But the hardship is, it's very difficult to do.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you gotta think about it, if you own the property and you're making money on the property, is it a hardship? Is there something that's stopping you from making money from that property? Did somebody tell you you could do that on that property? You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot of things like, he has to answer, you know what I mean?
Economics,
Yeah.
we understand,
Yeah.
we understand the world changed and
Right.
all of that.
Yeah.
But you knew what you bought the property as that property.
That property
Right.
was zoned
Yes.
residential use at the time it was purchased.
I thought it was zoned residential commercial.
No, it's an RR1,
No.
it's just residential in the
Yeah.
RR1.
Okay.
Because I'll be honest with you, you have a great ideal.
It's a great
It's
idea.
a
and
great
I-
idea and we need them.
And I'm not opposed to it, but
Right.
I've got to be able to
Pass
come
you.
up with an answer that I put down that's good for every one of those 4 questions,
Okay.
that also doesn't set a precedent for every other parcel
That's,
in the town.
And it would be a war. You know what I mean? Once somebody see, oh, residential, now the same person 4 miles, is it all right if I talk?
yes,
Yeah,
4
please.
miles down the road, spent $100,000 on an acre, okay? 100,000 on 1 acre, and just to put what you want there.
Right.
Then you went and bought that as residential, and we just give you permission to put a $300,000 empire, because
Okay.
that's an empire.
Everything comes back on us in the
On
end.
us,
Yeah,
yes.
so that's what we have to go through, and I'm just,
So
I
is
can
the,
ta- I
is
can
the
ta-
auction barn right next to me zoned residential as well?
It actually stops right at the bottle center.
Stops right at the bottle center, so anything north of that turns to residential?
yeah, if you look, and the map is
So
fuzzy.
then Apple Valley Hydraulics is residential, that's a residential
That,
area and.
they were
special-
in before.
Yeah, they may
And
not
one's
be
bees.
in the zone,
No.
but they may not be in the zone, but if they were there in 1999,
Okay,
which is when this map was done,
right.
then they were they can't change what they do.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Right,
But
if they were to alter,
If they were to alter what their business was, but their existing business. We did it, when the zoning laws were put into effect, they didn't say, hey, we're shutting down all existing things that don't conform.
Right.
So non-conforming uses at the time they went in were grandfathered.
Okay.
Then you have to, you gotta, you can't change it, et cetera, without getting a new permit or
Okay.
approval to do it.
Gotcha.
I mean,
It's kind of like,
yeah.
I've got my parcel down on the Kent Falls, which is in an RR2,
Right.
but it was air Dorrance back in 1960 before the 99.
Okay.
And we make sure we maintain a distribution and a retail out of it, because we can't, if we lose that,
Right.
we're not in the right zone to do that.
Okay.
But they were there in 1960, so that
Yeah.
was part of the, that's the, before this 99
Right.
thing passed. So
Okay.
I don't know the dates on Apple Valley.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just, nobody's brought it up, so
Okay. That's why I was mentioning it right
Yeah.
now,
Well,
because that's the reason I
No,
shifted a little bit, because you had Apple Valley
Well,
Hydraulics.
and I'm not
Almost
saying
Cross,
that,
and then
I'm not
Armstrong's
saying that
Trucking.
doesn't help you in the part about, there's a section in there about change the character of the neighborhood.
Okay.
Those things all help you address that you're not, what you're proposing wouldn't necessarily change the character of the neighborhood.
Okay.
That's 1 out of 4. Unfortunately, on a use variance, you gotta get all 4. On
Right.
an area variance, we just have to say, it's better to do it than to not do it. It's just a balance.
Okay.
But on a use variance, it's gotta get all 4.
Gotcha.
Now, I don't know exactly, but I just wish our lawyer was here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my attorney to help me fill
Well,
this out.
yeah, but,
No,
There-
he'd tell you pretty much the same.
he'd tell you what we're telling you right now.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I don't know if you can, a non-listed piece, I think there may or may not be a way to,
There's never been a never been a special use permit on that property. That property.
right, I understand, but what I'm saying is that storage units, are they listed in our list of approved things? If they don't appear anywhere in our list of approved things, somebody at one point talked about maybe the ability.
Yeah, Kyle Rock did when he was going through all the stuff with his. And
Okay.
you gotta remember, that's all commercial over there. And
That was
property
commercial
special-
anyways.
It was special use permit, and like you said, on your property, was
Yeah.
used as something. That's how
Right.
Kyle got away with that.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't, Kyle would never got permission. Because you gotta remember, Mr. Jarvis owned all that, and all
Yeah.
that was used.
Yeah, but you could, if you ask your guy,
Okay.
obviously, you're asking for a use permit now, and a use permit is certainly a way to get a non-conforming use approved.
Okay.
There may be, and I'm not an attorney, there may be something, if you look at what we have is listed as allowable, and if it doesn't appear in the list, there may be a second legal way around it, but it would be your lawyer and my lawyer figuring that one out.
Right.
I don't know that, but somebody at one point, in the back of my mind, did something about, hey, this is not even on your list of activities, so
Right.
there was some, I think there might have been an alternate path. I don't even know if they got approved or what, it was just a conversation I heard a long time ago.
Okay.
But I would say that you want to look at, that's the list we're going to need to go down.
Okay.
If we vote on it and you're not approved, you got a year before you can come back in front of us.
Okay.
It's up to you, but I would be more than willing to table this while you kind of reviewed your application
Okay.
and see what you might do on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's your choice whether you can also say, no, I'm here, I want you to vote tonight,
Right.
and away it goes.
Yeah.
We vote.
No, you can, you guys can go ahead and vote.
What?
Okay, where I kind of know where everybody stands, and maybe
But
you
if,
can-
but if we don't approve, it'd be a year before you can bring this back up. That's you can't appeal, you can't bring the same application back that's
Okay.
been disapproved for a year.
What's the next step after this if you guys deny it?
Uh,
I believe Bill Count said there's one more.
You could, there
I can't
is,
remember
there is some state level appeal
Okay.
that you go to.
Right.
If it's, I haven't ever had one of those happen, but but there is a state level appeal
Okay.
for our rulings. That's the level on that.
All right, well, yeah, I guess we can table it then, and I'll have my attorney
Yeah, well,
get on
Yeah,
it.
I think
That
it's
would
in
be-
your best
that would be-
interest, Jeff.
that would be-
Honestly, 1 month.
Yeah, we'll put it back on the calendar for next month,
Get
if
it
you like,
together.
and if you can, hopefully we'll have Mr. Renane back at that time too, he can help guide us, but,
I'll send him an email about.
and the like. So I'll make a motion that we table this while the application gets reviewed.
Just dressed up.
Right.
I need a second.
Second. I have a curiosity question. Do you know how much of or what percentage would end up being paved?
No pavement.
There won't be
Just
any.
gonna gravel.
Just gonna gravel.
according to his application.
I like it. I just, to cover our butts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, not saying it's a bad idea,
No, but-
just saying that.
No,
just
no,
saying
it's a good
that-
idea.
just
Somebody
saying-
wanted to buy the land for me to do it. and He was willing to pay me whatever I wanted to charge for the land to do
Yeah.
it, so.
But I'm just saying that we have to go down, we have to ask each and every member those questions, and they have to agree to every one of them for their vote to be a yes vote.
Okay.
So I'm sure Bill wasn't, well, I'm not sure that, I would
Right.
take a look at it with that in mind.
Absolutely.
Give us a way.
I will. I'll get somebody smarter than me to fill out the application. Well, I appreciate your guys' time.
Thank you very much.
Good seeing you.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Jeff, thanks.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Kelsey.
Thank
Baby.
you.
Yes,
You guys
Thank
have
you.
and and congratulations on making it here after the baby.
Yeah, I'm here.
That's a,
Jeff, do you want me to text you again?
Yes, please.
Okay, no problem.
All right, I appreciate you guys. Have a good evening.
Have a good night.
Well,
all right.
All right, Mr. Dorrance,
Oh, yes, table.
Mr. Hazen,
Yes.
Mr. Robin,
yes.
Mr. MD,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
There's nothing organizational left.
no,
to pick
yeah,
up.
that was a leftover from the last one, that's a,
I don't know why.
yeah, just a leftover, it's okay. Old business, other than this, I think we ran the gamut on the old business. Is there anything new that anybody wants to bring up at this point?
Just on the contact information, there's no period in my name, so if you're trying to email me, it's just.
Oh, I'll fix it. I'll
That's
email.
good.
I'll email the electronic copy. Like
Yeah,
in the next
and thank
couple
you,
days.
Kelsey, for doing that,
Yeah.
because we haven't had a good one.
we haven't had a good one.
We haven't
for
had a
long
good one
time.
for a long time, so getting a good one is great. Let me just double check. Everybody take a look at their piece and
Just make sure it's
make sure it
right.
looks good for Kelsey. I don't know about the 3002,
I don't.
the zip plus 4.
It's that zip plus 4 thing that I've done forever.
So I don't know.
So I don't know.
When you publish it, just script that off.
Okay.
Because I can't tell you if that's a good
Okay.
plus 4 or not.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, mine looks good other than that.
Okay.
My zip code is 12944, or 12972, sorry.
Yours is 12972?
Okay. That's odd, but it makes a little bit of sense.
I'm in Schuyler. It's,
Is that the little post office next to?
no, that's proved.
That's proved.
12972 is proved,
Okay.
Okay, yeah, even though you're on,
even though I'm on, yeah.
It's per
It's
district.
postal.
Yeah.
I think the cutoff is Northville Road where it hits.
Okay, so take a motion to adjourn.
before we do that.
Okay, hold on. Wait.
Not in Keene,
Can we send a letter or correspondence to our new code enforcement officer?
Please make our meetings, yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. The only reason he's not here is because he's in New York City.
Oh, is he still down there for
He's
the
in
other
New York
next week?
City
For 2 weeks for code enforcement training?
for something.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
He told me
okay.
he finished his online exams, but
He had to attend in, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I will reiterate
Yeah,
to him
just-
because he did ask me
just
before he
so-
left, and I
that's
will
Okay.
make sure.
Good, all right, good.
Okay.
I just
awesome.
wanted,
No,
Yeah,
thank you,
no
that's
problem.
excellent.
Who's doing court enforcement officer?
Howard,
our new guy.
Okay, cool.
and I saw him inspecting the place last week, and he told me he made it through the 60 or 80 hours of online training and the
Yeah.
5 exams he had,
That's
but I'm
very-
not sure that's, there might be more than that you have to do to get all the way blessed.
He has to have 2 weeks of in
In class,
Yeah.
beyond that, okay.
I think he's gonna do good.
Yeah, he's certainly conscientious about it.
Yeah.
And
We'll
a lot
see.
of that is making sure everything gets filed where it needs to get filed and whatever.
He will.
And
when
that-
it needs to
that-
get filed.
Yeah,
He will have a pager too, so if we need him,
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
he's gonna get a fire department pager, so,
That's really nice.
or fire dispatch.
yeah, excellent.
That's great.
Alright, I just
Andy?
need a second.
Anything else?
I second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Yeah, Okay.
Good seeing you guys.
You too?
Yeah,
I'm going
So-
to the back.
We're done here?
we're done.
Yep.
So roofing?
Ryan's roofing, I've always